Okay, so I set a little something up, just a Legu in the background back there. You can see I just got an LED going just so I can have some waveforms going here. This way we can discuss the difference in the record length and sampling rate. So the record length is the data volume for each captured waveform. So if the record length is 700,000, so you can see here, if the record length is 700,000, it means that 700,000 sample points are captured by one trigger. So in the normal mode, if it is a single channel for the SATO, the record length can be set, you can see here, at 7,000, 70,000, 700,000, 7 million, and 70 million. So this is going to be our highest over here. Now, and that's going to be at 1 giga sample. Just make sure you can see this. That's going to be at 1 giga sample per second. Okay. Now, if you have 2 channels set up, the record length, it's going to be cut in half. So say you choose this one to have the most record length, that's going to be 1 channel. If you notice right now, I only have 1 channel turned on. I have channel number 3. I have channel number 3 turned on. You can see it's lit down here. I'm set at the highest sampling rate, and you can see up here we have 70. We have 70 up here, 70 megapoints at 1 giga sample a second. That's 1 channel. Now, if we turn on channel 4, which is also connected, see what it did? It just went down to the next one. We went from 70 meg points to 35, and we went from 1 giga sample a second to 500 mega samples a second. Okay. And then, of course, if you open a 3rd channel and a 4th channel, it's going to drop it down to the next one. So it's 1 channel 70, 2 channel 35, 3 and 4 channels, it drops down to 17.5 million meg points per second. Okay. On this note, one thing that was pointed out to me by a subscriber is when you use the presets, when you use these presets, say before you go in there, you're set up at the highest setting. Well, when you go into the presets, from what I was told, and I'm starting to see, it's going to drop it down. It's going to, I guess, goes into auto or whatever they have presets. It's going to go into a lower memory. I use the presets sometimes. A lot of times I don't even use them. I like just set up my own setup, make my own setup. You want to be able to do that anyway. If you're new to oscilloscopes and you're coming to either of these 2 scopes for the automotive presets, they both have the automotive presets. I do like the setup, I guess that's called user interface. Is that right? It's more user friendly, I think, over here versus over here. Just for me, the way it's just easier on my eyes and my brain over here. I mean, I use this one for 2 years, and let me just make clear, I'm not saying nothing negative on the scope. I'm just saying, just like when the new iPhone comes out, even though you really liked your iPhone 7 or whatever, in my case, my last one was 7, and then I'm now at an 11. I know I'm still far behind. I don't care if I have the newest iPhone, but I'm using this as an example. Even though your previous iPhone worked great for you, they come out with a newer one every couple years, and it's going to be better. Technology advances. They can fit more in a smaller package. It's just going to get better. So either one of these scopes, you're going to be able to get your waveforms. You're going to be able to use them to diagnose cars. If you don't have either one and you're looking at buying one or the other, absolutely, I'd go with this one. I mean, this one's already considered obsolete from Micsig when you go on their website. So I would definitely go with this one. You're getting a lot more, and the price isn't far from each other. They're pretty similar in price, so it would make sense to go with this one. Now, if you have this one, is this one worth the upgrade? That's on you. You know, everybody's financial situation's different. I think it is. You're getting a lot more. Just everything I've named so far, the memory and everything. Another feature, let me just point out, is your connections. Okay, first of all, these colored ones, if you don't know, these caps right here that cover the channels, see, these ones are colored and they're tethered, or they're not going to fall off. These originally came, dang it, these originally came on the ATO. The SATO came with these here that come off. They're clear and they come off. Man, you set that down, it's just going to blend in. You know, wouldn't be a big deal if you work in a shop and you're setting everything on your tool cart, but if you're out in the field, that can easily get lost. So as you can see, I swapped them. I'm using this one full time, the new one, so I put these on here. Now, if you look closer, underneath here, it's hard to do. You can see like that conductive material, that kind of brass color, right? So that's Micsig's, they call it the UPI. It's a universal probe interface. I know the Pico, the newer Pico automotive scopes have something very similar. I'm not sure what they call it. I'm going to call it the smart probes. So basically, if you get a probe, I don't have any at the moment. I'm working on getting one so I can show it, you know, actually being used. But once you plug your scope in, one, it's going to get, or your scope, once you put your probe in, say you're using a current probe, like our Pico probes, you have to keep a D battery in there, or a 9-volt battery, can you imagine? A 9-volt battery. This gets the power from here. If you have Micsig's previous current probe, it gets the power plugged in on the side in the USB. But the newer smart ones, or the UPI probes through Micsig, they're going to get the power through here, and the scope's going to recognize it. And also with the Micsig, it's going to set your attenuation for you. So if you've been having problems, say we open channel 1 and we were going to set up current, if you're not positive how to set your attenuation to your current probe, because if you don't set it correctly, your values are not going to be correct. So all your numbers are going to be off. You're going to get the same waveform. It's just, it may show 2 volts, you know, for your max. But since your settings are off, it could really be 4 or 6 or 8 or whatever. So with the new probes, it's going to set your attenuation automatically. I think that's really neat. Sometimes, you know, I still get confused sometimes, you know, a long day, whatever, I'm tired, I'm just not thinking. You know, I get confused on where I want to, you know, where to set my attenuation for my current probes. In fact, I have some blue, what is that, like painter's tape that I have on each of my probes that tells me, you know, what setting I'm using versus what to set the attenuation at and stuff. Now, with that said, I'm thinking that maybe the reason Micsig went with these little caps is because I'm not positive about this, but I'm thinking maybe that ring right there, that blue ring that's circled around, when you go to put the smart probe in there, that blue ring may block it from getting a good contact on the conductor there. I'm assuming. I'm going to make an ass out of both of us. Yes, I know. I just don't know why they would switch these. I mean, these can't be much more expensive than these. So I'm thinking they have these just so you take it off, it's out of the way, so when you plug your plug in, it gets a good solid connection. I could be wrong. I won't know until I get one of these smart probes, or UPI. I'm going to call them smart probes because that's just what I'm going to do. And as soon as I get one, I'll let you all know. I have here on the list, it says added channel label function. I cannot figure that out. That was a question I asked them yesterday. I know on the newer version of this one, the STO, I know the newer version, they have where you can label. Dang it, I need to get a bigger or another table here. My lab table is so crowded. I know on the newer STO, right here where it says 3, you can, instead of having a number 3 there, you can label that to like secondary ignition, fuel pump, current, whatever you're plugging onto, you can label it. So if you have all 4 channels going, you can have one that tells you, primary ignition. Channel 2, it'll say secondary ignition. Channel 3, primary current. Channel 4, you'll have a sync for, coilover plug, so you know what, so you can sync it. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I have looked all through the menu. I cannot figure out how to do that, if that's what they're referring to when they say added channel label function. I'm assuming that's what it is because I know they added it on the STO, like I said. I went through all, 458 pages, I think it was, of the user's manual last night until like freaking 3:30 in the morning, scanning through, trying to find that, and I couldn't find it. So either I did not get it on my particular scope, or that's not what they mean by added channel label function. I'll know as soon as I get an email back from Micsig. Hopefully that is what they're talking about, and for whatever reason I didn't get it, or they forgot to add it, and they'll add it with the user interface. Even if they didn't mean to do that, that's something they can easily do with a user interface, with a firmware update. That's something they can easily do, so let's hope for that. So I mentioned the plug on the side here for the ground. On the notes they sent me, it says added grounding interface, solved grounding problems when powered by battery. I'm honestly not sure what they're meaning by that. If anybody knows, feel free to let me know. That was a question. See, this is one of the reasons I'm glad they don't have this anymore. Sometimes it's hard for me to open it. They say I like it when it's on there and I'm not using the scope because it keeps the dust out. Yeah, so they don't have that ground on this one. So I'm not positive what that is, but it's there. If anybody knows, feel free to please put it in the comments. Let me know. I am not a know-it-all. I do not know everything. This was my first automotive scope. I picked it because I believe, and I still believe, that the Micsig automotive scope is by far the best automotive scope you are going to get for under $1,000, especially a standalone tablet scope. I have not found anything better for that price point. If you have, let me know, because I'd be interested in it. So with that said, I'm still learning. I'm no freaking professor here. I'm learning. I made this channel because I had questions that I wanted to see videos when I was shopping for this, and they weren't there, everything I wanted to see. So I figured I would make videos to help other people that might be looking. And I know I'm horrible at these videos. It's hard for me to watch them, but they're not for fun excitement. They're to know what's going on with these scopes, whether you want to spend the money on them or not, whether they're worth it or not. And like I said, for the price point, by far, they absolutely are 100%. What else? It added the USB 3.0. They changed from the USB Micro B that was on the ATO to the Type C on the SATO. So that's pretty neat. Improved the back stand. Says more stable and less slippery. We went over that. Instead of the one single one, you have the two legs. Like I said, at first I wasn't sure what I didn't think I was gonna like that. Now, you know, having it for, you know, a week or so now, playing with it, using it regularly, getting to know it, I actually like it better. Don't get me wrong, this one will work just fine too. This one just, it has its own benefits in its own way. It says smaller side, added soft rubber protective shell that is impact resistant. So, I mean, you can see, obviously, on the ATO, this is kind of a, it's like a harder plastic. Whereas this one here, look, you can hear the difference. This is more of like a, I don't want to say rubber, almost feels like a rubbery plastic, if that makes sense. I don't know what you'd call that, but I like it. It does feel good in the hand. This scope in general, man, it feels good in the hands. It looks good. I love this scope. I have nothing against the ATO. Like I said, it worked for me just fine. I used it. I made a lot of money with this scope over the past couple years. Just like the new phones, you know, this was the bee's knees until I saw this one and got to play with this one. And now this one, you know, is the big daddy. I like it better than this one. Does that mean that, you know, I'll make more money with this one? No, they're both scopes. I'm going to get the waveforms. I'm just got more features with this, got more memory, I got more record time, I just got a lot more going on with it. It's a better scope. It's a tablet on top of it. I'm not going to go down list, everything I've already said. The newer SATO is equipped, it says equipped with Office software app, easy to read PDF files and browse web pages. Fortunately, I can't show you that until I can get this connected to my, man, that light's pretty bright, ain't it? There we go. I won't be able to until I get my Wi-Fi connected. Like I said, if anybody knows why that is acting like it's going to connect and then it bounces me back out and then back in and out, please let me know, because I'm at my end with it. I don't know what else to do with it. All right, that's everything that was on my sheet. Trying to think anything else. Just, you know, obviously on the screen here, so they both have here channel. You can hit channel. Say I want to move channel 3 up and down, I can click here in channel 3, and then I'm going to grab it. It's not going to let me grab channel 4. Channel 4 is just going away because it's on a timer. You can see it's pulse width. So I'm moving channel 3 up and down. If I want to move channel 4, I can just click channel 4, and now I got channel 4. It's not going to affect channel 3. Again, channel 3 is only turning off because it's pulse width. One turns on while the other turns off, as you can see right there. You do have that feature over here, because I have to have 2 channels up. So we'll open channel 1. There we go. Now you can hit channel, and same thing here. And on both of them, you can move them wherever you want. I usually pull it up into whatever corner is going to be like least in my way, like right up there probably. Same thing, press channel 1. You can only move channel 1. You can't grab channel 2, so you don't actually move it. Accidentally move it, go to channel 2, same thing. That's the same, just in a different spot. Here's a feature I like that they upgraded on the SATO. So say we have our cursors. We have our horizontal cursors, right, on both ones. Okay, say over here, I want to grab Y1 and I want to put it like right on the line. I want to get it to where it's at 0 for Y1 on the top here. I want to get it where it's at 0, but say I'm having a trouble getting it there. So you would get it close, and then you would use this find button, and you would just keep pressing up until you get to where you want, 40, 20, 0, then stop, right? So that's good. Over here, Y1, same thing. You want to move it. See, it moves so fast with your finger. You can hit find, but instead of having the little arrows, once you hit the find button, now when you go to move it, see how I'm moving my finger real fast, but it's going real slow. So now it goes, yeah, it's kind of in a bad spot, right? See, it goes slower to be more accurate, but you can do this also over here. You can do this also with your cursor menu over here. If you look right here, it's your cursor, on and off, press on my horizontal cursors. I can move Y1 up and down. See, it's when you turn find off, it's going to go faster. See how fast it goes? And then when you turn find on, hold it all the way down, it goes a lot slower. So just kind of helps you. I like that better. I just like it better. Like right here, if I didn't have find on and I'm trying to get it lined up right there, you know, it's easier to get it with that. Bam, look at that. Okay, another feature would be the screenshots. So over here, you want to take a screenshot on the ATO, you're going to swipe up, you're going to hit screenshot, it's going to capture it. Let me turn those off. Over here, you can swipe up, hit capture, takes your screenshot, gives you a chance to edit it right there. So that's neat. I haven't messed with all these options, so I'm not familiar with all these yet. I haven't had the time to go through those, but you can see what's going on here. You have all those options. Hit back. Okay, so that takes your screenshot. Now over here on the left side with the ATO, you could take a quick save. And now it just saved your reference waveforms. So right here. Sorry, I'm getting confused using both of these. I'm starting to forget where things are at. So here you can hit your reference waveform, click right here. Where's the last one? Should have taken the 2 that are on there, I believe. 1, 2. And there they are. So over here, did I do that right? I might have clicked the wrong one. And then also up here, you can hit channel 1 if you want to move channel 1, channel 2, or R1 for reference 1. And then you're only going to drag reference 1. Over here, you hit this button, it takes a screenshot. You can edit it right there if you want. It takes a screenshot and automatically saves your reference waveform. So we can come over here and we can hit reference on our menu over here, and then we can hit menu to turn our reference, hit reference, and our menu's up. And then now you see the the newest ones on the SATO, on the SATO are going to be on the top here. So we just had that one there and that one there. I turn off channel 3 and turn off channel 4 just so it's easier to see. and it saved them both. R2, as you know, like I mentioned earlier, with the pulse width, what's going on with the LED, while one's going with power, the other one's at ground. So this one got caught at ground, but that was the reference waveform right here. Get rid of our cursor. And then our reference 2. So that's pretty neat. And then if you want to name those, you can just go here to home, hit files. It's pretty easy. If this wasn't already up, you would hit this option up here. You would hit tablet scope. You would hit smart, and then reference wave. And you can see there are the two. Make sure y'all can see that. There are the two that I had previously labeled. Here are the two that we just made. So you can press and hold that. Press right here, and you can hit rename, and then just hit back and put whatever you want. Training, I don't know. Training. Don't watch me for training. Like I said, I'm not that guy. I'm just showing what these scopes can do. I like them, I use them, I make money with them. And then you just hit OK, and then there it is. Why did it say not? Oh, training over here. Somehow, for some reason they swapped. So there's training. So now when we go back to our scope, and we open our reference waveform menu, there it is, training. That would be the one that was flatlined. So anyway, pretty neat. While we're down here at the bottom here, to zoom in and out, let me open up channel 3 and 4 again. We'll get rid of these reference waveforms, turn that off. Get rid of channel 1. Okay. Get rid of our cursors. Okay, so you want to zoom in or out. You want to zoom in or out over here. You would just press to the right to zoom in. Press to the left to zoom out. We have to wait for the pulse width to activate for you to actually see it. Or you could press here and you can rotate counterclockwise to zoom out. See, now it's in roll mode. I use the roll mode all the time. It just puts more time on the screen. Lot of that comes in handy for a lot of situations. You want to go back in, you can just zoom like so. Or you can go back to here. Over here on the SATO, kind of the same thing with these two buttons. Zoom in, zoom out. All right, we can zoom out to roll. Once you get to, what is it, 200 or 100? It's 200. Once you get to 200 milliseconds, it goes into roll mode. Puts you more time on the screen. You can go up to 1 kilosecond per division. So as an example, instead of doing the around the clock here like this, you would just press here and there's all your options. You can go down to like 2 nanoseconds per division, or you can go up to 1 kilosecond per division. We're not even going to see that because it's going to take 1,000 seconds. It's going to take 1,000 seconds for it to feel that first division. That's to that first square right there. Display, gratitude. We'll hit full so you could see it. So each of these little squares a division. There's 14 squares going left to right. So 1,000 seconds is one square. 1,000 times 14. That's a lot of time on the screen. Look here, you're just now starting to see it. So I mean, this would be good. Say you're working with parasitic draw, somewhere you need a lot of time on the screen because you can go hours I can't use my calculator right now because I'm using my phone, but add that up, and what is it like? I think it's like 3.8 hours. 3.8 hours to go from this side of the screen to this side. And that's the same over here too. You can do the same here too. You can go to, what's the furthest out you can go? 1 kilosecond. So you can do the same there. It's just how you go about it is different. This is super neat because you can just click there and go right to where you want to. 20 milliseconds per division. Here we have to do this number. (20 milliseconds per division). Anything on? We both have the, like I said, they both have the automotive presets menu. It's just the user, the interface, I think is what it's called. It's just set up a little different. Right here, your phase, or what is it, phase cursors. Same thing here. You just get them right here. Same thing, you put in your cylinders on both one. You could choose 360 or 720, hit OK, and then you can see them in the background. They're already up there. I'm gonna turn them off for right now. Yeah, they're on there, and you can move them wherever you want them. Get into a car, you can find out which cylinder is which, whether you're on your compression stroke, your exhaust stroke. Not gonna go into, that's a whole nother video. Here you got to swipe up to get to the menu, turn that off. You know, like I said, the obvious, you have all your functions over here that you do not have on the ATO. It's one of my favorite features. I love these. I'm not going to read them all out. I'll just let you see them right there. I do like that they light up. You have your auto button here. It lights up. Your sequence, if you just want one capture across the screen, and then it'll stop on the trigger and it'll hold it there. That's good if you're doing like maybe a relative compression test and you're by yourself and you have to crank it. You can do that sequence. I know some people use that. I personally, when I'm gonna do it, I'll just go into roll mode and I'll just put more time on the screen, and then when I'm done, I'll hit stop, and then you can, or you don't even have to go there. Over here, you can just hit your zoom button, and then now you can zoom in to wherever on the capture, wherever on the waveform you want, and then start zooming in or zooming out. It's pretty neat. Anyway, you got your quick menu here is the bottom menu. Your menu is your top menu. You could take a screenshot right here. Bam, takes a screenshot. Oh, I stopped it. That's why I was wondering why it wasn't running. Take your sequence, single sequence, auto menu. This is a back button. You can use at different times. If you need to go back, you can press back. It's not going to work right in here. Cursors, horizontal, vertical, and like I said, when you open your cursors, you can control them here. You can see I'm moving that one, X1. If I want to move X2, I press the button. Now I move X2. I want to move them both, press the button again. They're both highlighted. Now you can move them both. You can do that same thing with both your fingers. Same over here, you can do the same thing but with your fingers. You can do that with vertical and horizontal. Yeah, you can move them up, down, left, or right. Your trigger, you have your trigger control here. So I'm pressing left, you can see it's going from each channel. So green, pink, so channel 4, channel 3, channel 2, channel 1. Say we're on channel 3 here, we can move it up to wherever we want. Oh, so here, if you can see right here, it says 250%. You'll notice that also down here. So this is our trigger control. So we can press that. Did you see what happened there? Look, I'm gonna raise it up some. Here's our trigger. Here's our waveform for that channel. If you press the 50%, it's going to put you right there. So that's pretty neat. So if you're just way off in a, if you're like way off in a weird spot, some, you know, weird things happen like that sometimes, you can just hit that. Oh, I hit the wrong one. You can hit that and bam. Here, menu, these are your channel menus. So if you want channel 3, you press channel 3. Once the menu's open, you can hit whatever channel you want. Channel 4, channel 1, channel 2, reference. That's pretty neat. I like that. And I like how the, I'm sorry guys, I'll zoom out. I like how the, and one of my dogs are talking in her sleep. Yeah, I like how the channels light up so you know which one is on or if it's off. I think that's pretty neat. I like that. I hit auto just see how it would work here. I don't use auto a whole lot, to be honest with you guys. I do, there are times, like sometimes I'll hit it, like if I just put all my probes in, you know, I'll hit it just to kind of organize, get it just quickly organized, and then I'll come in and customize it how I want it myself. Channel menus, same thing with the channel here, 50%. See how I'm moving my channel up and down? Look, we're on channel 4. Okay. If you press up and down, that's changing our amplitude. What is that with channel 3? And here, when you pull out this trigger menu, you can click, I want channel 3 menu or trigger, and then you can put it where you want. So here, you can change the position up and down. We're on channel 4, moving it up and down with the joystick. You can press, you see it says 250% there, and it's gonna put you in the middle. Say you wanna overlap all channels, they're spread out. Look, we'll move channel 4 up there, and now look, I'm gonna hit channel 3, now when we're in control of channel 3. That's the same as using this over here. Instead of using this and going back and forth from 3 and 4, I'll usually just use over here. Oh, wrong one. That's for the amplitude. We'll get to that one in a second. Okay, so say channel 3's down here, 4's there. You wanna overlap them. You can just hit the 50%. There's channel 3, then you click channel 4, hit the 50%, and now they're overlapped. Okay, I'll move channel 4 back down. This next joystick right here is your scaling. You press up, look at our amplitude, 1 volt per division, 500 millivolts per division, 200 millivolts per division. Press down, goes the other way. It's just like pressing that button right there. In fact, that button highlights every time I press it. Press down. And you can move it over if you look right here. I'm gonna, or no, I'm sorry, I got confused. So this one, you can move your channel up, down, left. You see how it's moving here? Left or right. I'm pushing this to the right, pushing it to the left, up and down. That moves your channel everywhere. Or you can do the same thing with your finger. You can do the same thing with your finger. You can do it faster with your finger. The bottom one, up and down, is your amplitude. Left to right is your scale, is your time base. So right now I'm pressing to the left, and you can see our time base, 2 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds. We're zooming out. I can keep going. Now we're rolling. Press to the right, and it's going to start zooming in. 20 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds. Down here you have your math. You can hit menu. It'll open your math menu. And there is so much in here. So right now we're on double wave. You have right? There's double. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide. You can do the same. You can do the same over here. Click here, there's your math menu, or there's your menu, same thing. In fact, I haven't compared these differences in these two like this with the math menus. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't use the math menus. I'm not familiar with how to use that. I could really use a class in that because I'm unfamiliar. I mean, of course I can add or subtract, you know, one channel from the other, that stuff, but all this other stuff like the FFT, AX plus B, advanced math, you can see how they're set up a little different here. Here you've got the double wave, FFT, and the window all on the same here, right? Whereas over here you have the double wave, and then you click FFT, it brings up your FFT menu, AX plus B. I don't see that over here. And then you have advanced math on this one. So you're getting a lot more math functions over here than you are over here. Like I said, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with that. And then here, like you see here, you have your rectangle, Hammond, Blackman, and Hannon. I'll teach that to myself when I have the time. I just don't know how to do it now. You want to turn that menu off, you can just press right here. And off it is. Over here, you have to press right there. And of course, you have your lock screen here. To lock the screen here, you press on your ATO, you press your power button. Then you press lock. And now the screen's locked. The screen's locked here. Of course, to unlock this one, you press your power button again, hit unlock. This one's real simple. It even lights up green, screen lock. You got the lock screen up there. Press it again, screen's unlocked. You have your home button there and your home button there. And I think that's pretty much gonna cover the differences between the two. The handle is a little different. The ATO handle, I never had a problem with it before. I still don't have a problem with it. It's worked. I've held that in one hand many of times. But I mean, God, you can just see the difference. This one, comparing them together, this one just looks and feels cheaper. They both say Micsig on it. But this one, like, this one just feels better. Looks better too. By far, the SATO is a much sexier freaking piece of equipment by far. I mean, you can see that with your own eyes. It does feel better in your hands. Like I said, this is like man, I don't know what it is. It's like a hard rubber or a soft plastic, whereas this one's more of a harder plastic. ATO, like I said, I've had it for a couple years now, and I haven't had any problems with it. I haven't had any malfunctions. It's always worked. It's always turned on. I know Super Mario mentioned on his ATO when he first got it, he had like some problem with like it overheating or something, I think. I never had that problem. I've never had any problems with it. I still have the original screensaver on it. You can actually see, that's why I'm trying to get the light where you can, which is better. You can see I have a bubble there. I think there's a bubble right there I could just never get rid of. Because, oops, shoot. When you put the screensaver on the ATO, you have to take this blue plastic off. This edging, you have to take it off, put your screensaver on, or screen protector on, and then put that back on. Whereas the newer one, it just goes right on there. And I actually did a really good job. I was impressed. It came on really good. I get a little, I don't even see it right now, a tiny little bubble down here sometimes, but tiny. All right, guys. If I missed anything or you have a question, put it in the comment. If I missed something, you know, I'll mention it in my next video. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. But that's going to do it, guys. Both Micsig automotive scopes. You got the newer generation, the previous generation. This is the ATO1104, still a good scope. I kind of want to give this to my younger brother. And then you have the newer SATO1004, ATO1104, and the ATO, the 1104, the 4 is because it's a 4-channel scope. They have an 1102 that's a 2-channel scope. I would not recommend getting a 2-channel scope. If you're new to automotive diagnostics, I mean, yeah, a 2-channel is better than no channel, but I would bet my money if you got a 2-channel, you will eventually, probably sooner than later, be upgrading to a 4-channel. As far as I know, the SATO1004, that's it. I do not believe there is a 1002 where it's just a 2-channel scope. I believe they only make it in a 4-channel. That makes perfect sense to me. Okay, so we're going to call it there. I know this was longer than I planned on. A lot of my videos are. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people bug out. They're hard to watch. They're not real exciting. But, I mean, I can only show you what's on there by showing you what's on them. You know, I mean, I guess I can take them out back and, you know, shoot off some guns and fireworks while I'm explaining it, you know, have my burn barrel going, my fire pit, and make it all dramatic and cool, but whatever. I'm trying to help people, let them see what these scopes have to offer and let you make a educated decision on whether you want to purchase one or not. So, those are the differences. Is it worth the upgrade? I've been asked to go from the ATO to the SATO. I think so. I think it is worth the upgrade. Like I said, I keep comparing it to like phones. You know, you're going from one iPhone to the next iPhone. They're only going to get better. So it's a better scope. Like I said, this one you get a whole tablet with it and all the features I named. So I think it's worth the upgrade. With that said, do I think you have to upgrade? No. I think you can use the ATO. And like I said, I've used it the last 2 years on every car I've had to use a scope on. And I've had no problems with it. It's gotten the job done. It's found all the problems. Well, I found all the problems with the help of the ATO. But I saw they came out with a new one, and it's exactly what I wanted, combined in the STO tablet with the buttons and knobs with the ATO automotive scope. That's what I wanted Micsig to do. Whether they did it for me or not, I doubt they did it for me, but in my head they did, because this is exactly what I wanted. So for me, yeah, absolutely, it's worth the upgrade. I love this scope. I'm going to make some more videos with it. In fact, I might go right now, if I have the time after I eat, go out and I know somebody wanted to see a particular video, and so I'm going to try and make that on the car if I have time today. Yeah, absolutely worth the upgrade. Not needed. You could still get by with your ATO. Heck, and I'm sure in another 2 years they're going to have a newer version of this one. So maybe you want to be the person that hangs on to your ATO for another 2 years and then upgrade to the next one. You know, only you can make that decision. I'm just here to show you the difference of them, the differences, so you can make a better decision. Good luck to you. Hope you make the right decision. I know you're going to be happy with either one of them. Like I said, for under $1,000, you're not going to find a better automotive scope. I haven't. If you have, let me know in the comments. I'd love to check it out. I'd be very impressed if there's one out there in this price point or less that's even equivalent, more or less better. Anyway, guys, this is Adam at Adam's Workshop signing out. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Thanks for visiting the channel.